Welcome to the Beauty and Business Breakdown with Becca Healey. I'm Becca. I'm an entrepreneur, permanent makeup artist, and owner of Forever Brows and Beauty Studio. My studio is located in Cincinnati, Ohio, and my channel is where I come to talk to other beauty professionals, entrepreneurs, and people who inspire me. We're going to be covering different topics every episode and leaving you with inspiration, insight, and business tips. Please like, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Forever Brows and Beauty Studio. Now let's jump right in.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good to see you.
You too. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks for joining. I love your hair.
Oh, thank you. I just got it redone, so it's all nice and fresh still from the salon.
Awesome. Love it. So, Kat, thanks so much for joining. How are things in San Diego?
They're beautiful. Yesterday was pretty hot actually, but today and the rest of the week it's going to be like a nice cool, like 68. We have great weather over here.
Yeah, I'm super jealous. We get a tease in Cincinnati. We got a little tease of spring, and now we're back to cold weather. So
My sister actually lives there, and on April 1st, she's like, "Is this a joke? It's snowing."
yeah, we have snow on April 1st. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is the worst April Fool's joke ever, Mother Nature.
Yeah, that's exactly what she said.
That's so funny. So before we jump into our topic, let's talk about you and what you do and introduce yourself to our audience.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm Kat Smith. I own the Craft Browery in San Diego, California. I do brows, mainly ombre brows, and tooth gems. And if you want, you can follow me at the Craft Browery here on Instagram or pretty much any other platform, except I'm not on Twitter. I never understood Twitter.
Yeah. I kind of gave up on Twitter for my business. I started using it in the beginning, but yeah. So what is your favorite service that you do? Because you do offer the tooth gems and the ombre brows. What's your favorite service that you provide?
That's a hard question because obviously I love doing brows because that's what I started with, but I just started doing gems, um, I don't know, maybe like 8 months ago. I don't know the exact date, but they're so fun to do. It's such a fast service, but it's like an instant transformation, you know?
That's so fun.
And yeah, and everybody loves them because you got like a little bling on your tooth. And I would show you mine, except I took mine off because I'm going to the dentist, and I was gonna detail the like removal process in a video. So
Oh, cool. That's amazing. Yeah, so let's jump right in. So how long have you been in the beauty industry?
it's actually been only about a year. I still am doing it part-time during the day. I'm a software engineer, so I've been in the tech industry for about 5 years, and I'm trying to transition to the beauty industry.
Wow, that's amazing. So you're doing it the right way, I think.
Yeah, it's hard to give up the security of the day job, you know, at first, especially because I'm like not the sole provider, but I'm like I carry more of the financial weight, so gotta keep that going.
For sure. I totally get where you're coming from. I left my corporate job in October, so I
Oh,
totally
congrats.
understand. Yes, thank you. I did both for like 2.5 years. So I hope that you have a shorter timeline of getting out. But
Yeah, I am in the Pretty Rich Bosses program, so I'm hoping that accelerates my time. It actually today is my 1 year anniversary at this job currently, so
well, congrats on
I
that. Yeah.
it's easy to remember because it's 420.
That's
Um,
hilarious.
but yeah, I'm hoping to. Um, I mean, this job isn't as bad as other ones I've had previously. I mean, that's why I signed up for this talk today. You know, like imposter syndrome and tech go hand in hand. And the beauty industry has just like welcomed me with loving arms. It's been such a nice relief, you know. So I'm really looking forward to jumping in with both feet to the beauty industry.
That's amazing. And we're so happy to have you.
Thanks.
You're welcome. So tell us a little bit, let's talk about imposter syndrome. So for anybody that might not be familiar, what is your take on it? What does it mean?
Yeah, so to me, imposter syndrome is like a lack of confidence, like you feel like you don't belong, like you're not worthy of being where you are. And again, like with my background in tech, like I'm very familiar with that because like you started a new job and you're like everybody around me is so smart, like I feel like I don't belong here, like everybody thinks I'm better than I actually am. And I think that can apply to anyone, anywhere, with anything. It's just fundamentally a lack of belief in yourself. But that's what I think it is.
For sure. Yeah. Definitely questioning what your position is and wondering like if you're good enough when really you have everything that you need and you're in the right spot that you're in.
Hmm.
So tell us, like, what is your experience with imposter syndrome?
Yeah, so again, mostly like I went to college for computer science. And so even back then, like I was one of like three girls in my class, and so it's kind of like I'm constantly made to feel like an outsider almost. And so it's hard to believe. It takes like a really strong resilience of character, to like keep going down the track when you're like a minority in that area. Um, and so the best lesson, honestly, that I learned in college was fake it till you make it. And
Mhm.
it's still true to this day, like you, at first, like, again, you feel like an imposter, so you're faking it. But like, while you're faking it, it's actually, you're practicing the thing that you're doing, and the practice is what makes you actually better and become that thing. So
Right.
practice makes perfect. It's just a bunch of like, I guess idioms that you hear all the time, but they're
Mhm.
actually true.
Yeah, it's like show up every day as the person you want to be, and then eventually, instead of trying to be this person, you are that person.
Exactly.
That's awesome. So, I would say like I have definitely felt imposter syndrome at times. I mean, there's been times recently where I've been creating my online courses, and I'll be honest, like a couple of months ago when I first started creating the content, I was terrified and just like questioning, am I good enough to be putting out a course? You know, who am I to be offering this microblading training to people? And you kind of have to dig down deep inside and tell yourself, or have other people around you tell you, no, you're really valuable and you can do it and you're gonna do it.
I definitely feel that too. Like I'm working on actually doing a tooth gem training course. Um, but I know permanent makeup, there's like so much more depth to that. And whenever it's time for me, like I still don't think I'm anywhere near being able to be a trainer in permanent makeup, but like
Mhm.
I know that's going to be a tough one for me too to get over the hurdle is like feeling like there's so many good people out there. Like, why should people learn from me when there's like so many out there?
Exactly. Yeah, it's definitely a daily struggle.
Yeah, but there's always people that look up to you and you don't know it. Like, there's
Mhm.
people who are definitely going to want to learn from you. And
Yeah,
it's always like a humbling experience when you like find that.
for sure. So have you experienced any imposter syndrome lately, like since you are still kind of fresh in your career in beauty?
Um, yeah, I honestly, like my experience in the beauty career has been mostly smooth sailing. Like I feel like I haven't experienced it as badly as I thought I would. Like maybe because um I've just dealt with like so much of it in the past. Like I've come into myself more like confident. But definitely like in the very beginning, I was like when people were like making appointments with me, and I'm like, you want to pay me to do your brows? Like, it was just like, I don't know, it's like a nice feeling, and at first you don't feel like worthy of it, but um, yeah, I think I definitely grew into it a lot faster than I would have otherwise if I didn't have 5 years of dealing with tech under my belt, you know?
Yeah. So tell us more about that experience and being the only woman or one of the few women in the field.
Yeah, definitely. I think for most of my jobs, like always the only woman on the team, you know, and there's always that sexism that you have to deal with. Like, it would be okay at first, but then whoever was like the protection, you know, like would leave the company and then it would slide into like tech bro territory, which again, that's why I'm going into the beauty industry, like all of these uplifting women. It's so nice.
Yes. Yeah, I can't imagine like not having anybody to necessarily like relate to. I mean, it's not that you can't relate to your male colleagues, but
It's
yeah,
just different.
imagine. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like I just felt like a lot of times, you know, like I'd have to bro it up a lot, you know, like just play up that part of your personality, you know, like I feed off other people's energies, so it was a lot of broing.
So that's kind of how you like dealt with it in a way.
Yeah, it's kind of again like the going back to the faking it till you make it thing, but also like you have to like focus on um your worth, you know, like the worth that or the value that you're bringing to the table. Like
Mhm.
um you might not think like the work that you're putting out is like valuable, but like you have to really focus on the feedback that you're hearing from other people too. Like your internal voice, I feel like, is always your harshest critic. So if you think like for yourself, like that's really, if you think that's happening to you, you really like write down like the things other people are saying to you, you know, so you can go back and see that feedback like I am worthy of that, you know, like this person's giving me praise and like the client was happy and that was really brought to light to me. Like when I first started this software job,
Mhm.
I actually it coincided with me getting a new psychiatrist, and I was talking to her one day, and she was like, or I was like, oh, I'm doing so bad, they're gonna fire me, and she was like, why do you think that? And I was like, I don't know. And she's like, have they given you any feedback, like what you're doing bad? And I was like, no. And she's like, well, then why are you thinking that? So it's like, it's always your inner critic that's so mean to you, you know?
Mhm.
And you kind of sometimes have to get that outside perspective.
Yeah, so two things that you said I want to go back to for people that are maybe dealing with imposter syndrome right now. One thing that you said that I think is a huge takeaway is to write down what other people are saying, positive things that other people are saying to you, to remind yourself of the truth.
Yeah, I think especially if you're into journaling and stuff like that. I mean, I never really was, but I've been trying to get into it more because I think it does help. Like even if you don't think it will, like it does. You go back and read like positive feedback that you've gotten, or even if you start doing daily affirmations, you know, like I was never into that, but one that I've been focusing on a lot lately is like you can do hard things. You
Yeah.
know, like I've one of those people who like gives up so easily, but just right saying like I can do hard things. Like I'm not gonna like get frustrated and leave the room. Just you can do it. Just believe in yourself.
That's amazing. So besides like writing down things that people say positively and journaling, what are some other things or what are some other ways that you have dealt with imposter syndrome and what are some other tools that people can do? or resources that they can use.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, write down the positive feedback. Also write down your wins, like big or small. Like recently I hit 1,000 followers on Instagram. Like that's small for some people, but that's big for me. And this month I'm
Cute.
also having my first $1,000 month, which for doing it
That's
only on,
amazing.
yeah, one day on the weekends, that's big for me. And so it might not be big in general, like, oh, you can't live on $1,000 a month, but like, my business is growing, so it's big for me. So I'm gonna write it down and just like look back to that,
Yeah.
because it's like you did the thing. So any small win, write it down, like put a date on it and see how far you've come since you started.
Yes, you did that. You got those 1,000 followers. You're
Yeah.
growing your business. Like
Yep.
you're having more revenue than you have since you started, and that's amazing.
Yeah. And um definitely also stop comparing yourself to others, like you don't know how long they've been on their journey.
Mhm.
Like you're on day one, they're on day 500, like you gotta go at your own pace.
I love that for sure.
And then let's see. Yeah, I think those are all the main things that we've been over. Like again, the main number one thing I've learned, fake it till you make it, like it's really just it sets up in yourself like a goal to achieve, like you want to be this person, so pretend to be this person, and one day you'll it'll just be you.
Mhm. Yeah, that's amazing. Um, I had something I was gonna say about that again, but I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
um, I was gonna ask you. So you kind of already answered the question I was gonna ask, which was, what's the biggest thing that you learned from dealing with imposter syndrome? And that is to fake it till you make it.
Yeah, I think confidence is a state of mind, and
Mm-hmm.
it's really hard to get there. Like, I mean, you can read so many different self-help books, on confidence alone. So it's kind of just, I don't know, some advice is like stand in front of the mirror and tell yourself good things. And that's pretty much like a different version of affirmations. So it's just being nice to yourself. Um, that inner critic can get so mean sometimes.
For
Um,
sure.
and I know it's easy to say you just got to believe in yourself. So that's why, like, number one, fake it till you make it.
Yes. Yeah, I think something that I do, especially if I'm struggling with imposter syndrome over my work. So sometimes I will be like hypercritical of myself, beating myself up over something that nobody else is noticing or nobody else is even focused on. And it'll make me feel like, oh my God, I'm a fraud. I'm the worst. I shouldn't be tattooing people's faces. And then I'll go back and look at my work from when I first started. So I've been doing it now for almost 3 years. So I'll go back to 2018 and look at the brows that I did then. And that reminds me that I've come so far and my work is great, compared to what it was back then. And even then, it wasn't bad. It's just those reminders and finding ways to remind yourself that you got this.
I do the same thing, like you obsess over every detail because you're like, oh, I could have added like one more stroke here, or I could have lifted this brow 1 more centimeter. But it's just, nobody else is seeing it that way. And that's another time when outside opinion can help, like I have this little network of close brow friends, like if I'm feeling unsure about a brow set that I did. I send it to them, and they're like, yeah, this is great, you know, like you could have done that, but like they're good the way they are, you know. It's always motivating to like get feedback, like it's not as bad as you think it is.
Yes.
You
And in
know, and
most
like the
cases,
client
it's
is always happy.
yeah. And 99% of the time, their whatever it is, if it's their brows or eyeliner or whatever, it's better than what they had when they came in. So
Exactly,
they're leaving with an upgrade.
for sure.
So yeah, I think I have a little group of people that I send my pictures to too. And I think that that is so important for permanent makeup artists specifically, to have those key people that you know they're going to give you the honest truth. And usually the truth is really good. You know, you want to hear that feedback, especially in those times. So I think everybody needs to have their like little tribe. And if it's other artists or your mom or your siblings, whoever it is, like for me, it's my mom and some of my friends. I'll have one or two friends that I'll send it to. But yeah, I mean, that's so important for your ego and to boost your confidence. And like you said, confidence is one of the most important elements in any career, but especially with what we do. You have to have confidence. And if you don't, it's going to come off very easily. Like your clients are going to know right away that you're not confident. They're
For
going to
sure.
be nervous, that they're not going to want you to talk to their faces. And even
And
if
energy
you,
is so important in a procedure too. Like you
yeah,
have to vibe with your client to get good results.
I agree with that for sure. And if you're nervous and scared and all of that's coming off of you, then they're going to be just as nervous, just as
Hmm.
scared. And they're the ones that are, putting the most chips on the table at that point when they're
So
trusting you.
true.
So,
Yeah.
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 Um, so what advice would you give to somebody um, who is struggling with imposter syndrome right now?
Um, I think a really good first step, um, what we were just talking about, finding like a small tribe to like get like hype each other up, you know, like what I actually did. Um, it was, I don't know how long ago now, maybe almost a year ago, started this little Instagram group. It was supposed to be just like an engagement group, like we just like commented on each other's pictures and stuff, but now honestly it's just such a nice support group, you know. Just grab a few, like follow a few accounts that are the same level as you, like we were all around the same number of followers, and it's really nice to like watch each other grow together, you know.
Mm-hmm.
um, and we're all in the same stage of business, you know, and it's just really cool to see. And so I think we randomly followed them on Instagram, you know, and we all joined together in a group, and it was really cool.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
I definitely recommend just grabbing either people local, or honestly, I think I'm the only one on the West Coast. Everybody else is East Coast, and then one of them is in Guam. One's in Australia.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would say for people that might not know where to start, like reach out to us. Like if you want somebody to be honest and have somebody to pump you up, like I know that Kat and I would both be happy to help other artists that are coming up in the industry.
for sure. Like, always happy to give advice. I could also probably connect you to, I follow so many accounts, like if you need to start a group, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, it's a great place to start.
Yeah. And have you been on Clubhouse at all?
I have a Google Pixel phone, so I cannot go on Clubhouse.
Oh no.
It's really unfortunate because I'm like, there's all this good content that I'm missing.
Yeah, because I was gonna say like for people that do have an iPhone, and hopefully it'll come to Android, soon. But if you are looking for a community, Clubhouse is a great place to go to. And it links to a lot of people's Instagrams. So you can find people in the permanent makeup groups or lash groups, whatever industry you're in, and connect with them on Instagram through Clubhouse.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, thank you. So I guess let's talk about your course a little bit more. So when do you think you'll be having your tooth gem course?
I'm hoping within a month or two. Like, I had set up the outline and stuff and had done some filming, but I'm going over it with my Pretty Rich Boss's coach, Victoria Glam.
Oh, I love Victoria.
And so we're making some tweaks to it and doing some improvements. I want to make sure it's really good before it launches, but it's looking really good already. I'm really excited about it.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's always like stressful trying to make it, you want to make it perfect. So when you think it should be done, but you still want to keep adding stuff to it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I know I have other stuff to do before it launches, like get a wait list to make sure everybody gets. I haven't even made the announcement yet. I guess this is the official announcement that it's coming.
Awesome. We'll make it official. Yeah, so that brings me to my wait list. So that's the phase I'm in right now for my online course for microblading is the
Exciting.
Yeah. So I have a VIP list I'm working on right now, and people can go to it through my Instagram bio and sign up, and you get exclusive discounts on the courses when they launch and some extra perks. So Kat, did you do microblading at all?
Yeah, I took microblading in my training, but now I focus on ombre brows and I do combo brows too, but I don't do full microblading.
Okay. So for some people that might not be familiar, what are ombre brows? I mean, I do them myself, but just so our audience knows.
Ombre brows are done with a machine, and they are a more filled-in makeup look. Like my eyebrows are ombre brows. Well, they're
Mine are
technically
too.
combo brows. I have some in the
Yeah.
front.
Mine
But
are too.
yeah, I actually like don't have any brows, so
Mhm.
ombre brows are good for that because I did get microblading first, and because I have no hair, it looked really stupid. So it just it's better if you don't have like any hair or if you have bald spots. I think ombre fills it in a little better. It makes it look more natural.
Yeah, I agree. And then we know combo brows. My audience should know what that is because I talk about that. But that's the microblading with shading. So do you still offer that, or do you mostly just offer ombre?
Yeah, I still offer that. I'll do a few strokes in the front, and then the tails are shaded
Mm-hmm.
with the machine.
Awesome. So we are going to be wrapping it up here, but tell us how people can work with you if they want to get in contact with you. Well, you kind of already told us, but just to give us a recap.
Yeah, just recap it. Yeah, you can find me at the Craft Browery here on Instagram. My website is thecraftbrowery.com. I'm pretty much solidly the Craft Browery everywhere. Yeah, just send me a DM if you are interested in talking about imposter syndrome with me, or you're interested in the upcoming tooth germ course, or honestly about everything. My DMs are open. I'm always on.
That's awesome. Yes, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
And we're so happy to have you today. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure. I hope that our audience has gained some knowledge and some insights onto how to overcome imposter syndrome. And I just hope everything goes well for you. We wish you the best. And I can't wait to see about your course when it comes out.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yours too. And thank you for having me today. This is my first like live appearance.
Yay! There, you're overcoming new obstacles.
Yes. Beating that imposter syndrome.
That's right. We got to show up every day.
Hell yeah.
Well, this will be on YouTube as well, but it'll probably be in another week or two. So I'll let you know when it's up there, but so people can
All right.
watch the replay.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, Kat. Well, hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk soon.
All right. See you later.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate the support. Please like, subscribe, share, and follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Forever Brows and Beauty Studio. And please join us again next time for new guests, new stories, and new inspiration. Thanks so much.